I have been journaling for 4 months now, and I really think it's changing my life. I never thought I was gonna get into this activity because I thought it was awkward, it was corny, and I just couldn't see myself sitting down to write my thoughts into a notebook. But after doing it for a few months, I can say it's the #1 thing that contributed to my self-development this year. So for my last video of the year, today, I'm gonna share with you guys the 5 tips that helped me get into journaling and hopefully will help you as well. Let's get to it. So there's no way to put this. The first time you sit down to journal, it's gonna be awkward. But like every other thing in your life that it's awkward, you just have to keep doing it until it doesn't become awkward. So just push through the first time, the second time, and the third time. And I promise you, it's gonna get to a point where you look forward to journaling and it just becomes normal. And another thing you can do is just make a joke the first time you sit down and write. My first journal entry started by saying, "Dear journal, this is awkward." And then after that, it was super chill. So my ideal timing is once a week. Today, I was listening to the Full Send podcast, and funny enough, something that I didn't expect, they were talking about the topic of journaling in that podcast. And Kyle said that one of the things that has been going around is the 5-minute a day journal.
There's one that all the chicks post about, that it's called the 5-minute journal. Every day you wake up and you write 3 things you're grateful for. And then I think you write 3 things that would make today great. And then at night you do the highlights of your day.
Now, I think this is great, but for me, I find it hard to think that you're gonna go from not doing something in your life to then doing it every single day. So my recommendation is that you start doing it once a week. I like doing it Sunday nights, that way I can talk about all the things that happen during that week. However, if you are able to do the 5-minute a day journal and you can do that consistently, that's even better. But I would recommend more set low expectations and exceed them than set expectations that are too high and fail. So, something that happens to a lot of people is that you sit down and you just don't know what to write. So here are the prompts that help me the most. First, I write about 3 important lines that I have going on in my life. The first one is personal. So what are things that I found out about myself this week, things that I liked, things that I didn't like. The second one is work. What are some of the tasks that I had to do that I enjoyed, things that I didn't enjoy, or how am I thinking about my career and the future? And the third one is just big events. So here is where you probably want to talk about your relationships or probably someone that you're seeing and how you feel, or even simpler things like if you want to lose weight. Journaling is a great way to see your progress. So if you want to lose weight, you can put what weight you're in every single week. And the last prompt is the least important, but it's actually the one that I enjoy the most. I call it 3 random things. And it just means writing a 1-line about 3 random things that happened to me that week that I really enjoyed. So for example, I had my first pumpkin spice donut this week and it was fire. I started doing physical therapy for my knee. I went to the beach with my brother and my sister and we ate sushi. So those are just things that I probably won't remember in the future, but now that I wrote them down, I will. So one of the things that I finish every journal entry with is a quote, and it can be funny, inspirational, or just one sentence. And for me, it either describes how my week went or how I expect the next week to go. So, some other examples here are: tomorrow is gonna be a new day and a new week. This too shall pass. Don't let us get one. And one more: another week in the books. Just keep living. So the entire idea of journaling came from one of my favorite books ever, which is Green Lights. So Green Lights is the autobiography of Matthew McConaughey, the very famous actor. And the entire autobiography is made out of the decades of journaling that Matthew McConaughey did since he was a little kid. He would always say that he would write during the bad times so he can remember what it felt like when he became really successful. And I haven't had this yet, but it still amazes me when I do a journal and then the next week I might look over it and I have a bunch of things that I didn't remember. But the most important lesson from the book and what made me start journaling is the idea that you should look at every situation in life like a traffic light. Because the greens are good, the yellows are not too bad, and the reds are just not good. However, every single red light and every single yellow light at the end become a green light. So every time I finish a journaling session, the last thing I do is that I draw a traffic light and then I color either green, yellow, or red. I still haven't had my first red light, but I do look forward to having one because in the future, I know I will be able to say when it became a green light. So hopefully these tips help you and hopefully you can start journaling next year. And I wish every single viewer nothing but the best and a lot of green lights. See you next time. Peace.